Welcome back to the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships on WFTDA TV. I am Scott Chicken.
And I'm Tool Time.
And this is some guy standing behind us.
This is one of our clinic people learning about what we do.
You're totally welcome to stand behind
Absolutely.
me. I was like, oh my God, there's someone right behind me.
Yes, the camera is on and we are live, so welcome to my life. Well, Scott, who do we have out there right now?
We have got Jacksonville taking on Rose City. Both teams wear purple, and we're going to be super confused, at least I am, because I'm used to Rose City playing in purple. You being from Florida, probably used to Jacksonville playing in purple.
I'm fine with it. I don't envy the refs whatsoever on this entire thing because both teams' uniforms are very similar.
Exactly. They're going to be selling in purple and white. You got to remember which one you are. Jacksonville, your number 5 seed. They're ranked number 6 in the JRDA. Rose City comes in as the 8th seed, ranked number 10. They've each won one and lost one to get here. The winner goes on to the 5th place game tomorrow at 2 p.m. against FOCO. You want to roll down a roster or two?
Absolutely. And I'll start with the Jacksonville Junior Roller Derby. At 101, we have Ariana Cantrell. Number 13, Haley Sperling. 330, Buckeye Brawler. 37, Elena Young. Number 4, Brianna Page. Number 5, Shandis Griffin. Number 530, Smackajoea. Number 62, Olivia Glisson. Number 63, Noel. Number 713, Melcher. Number 719, Mad Dog Maddie. And number 8, Annabelle Hines. And number 88, Hurd. And
on the other side in white, the Rose City Rollers Rosebuds All-Stars. Number 13, Fulagora. 138, Demon Speed. Number 17 is Trickster. 1717, Trooper. 252 is Pack Animal. Number 26, Mace of Spades. Number 29, the Rubinator. 31 is Kid Vicious. Your captain, number 360, Big Bang Fury. 423 is Spencer. Number 44, Tyranny. 75, Lemmy Adam. Number 8, LCU Later. Number 828, Strawberry Short Fuse. And number 853, Misdemeanor.
And as you said earlier, both teams have won one here and lost one yesterday. Duval with a tight game against Los Anarchists, a repeat of a game they had earlier this year in February. Los Anarchists won that one, but Duval did win against Crooked River earlier. And what can you tell us about what's happening now, Scott?
Well, what I can tell you about what's happening now is that we've got a lead jammer, Ariana Cantrell, for the Jacksonville Duval All-Stars. And it's number 8 jamming for Rose City. That is LCU Later. LCU Later, one of the skaters on the Rosebuds that will be aging out this year. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong number. She's not aging out. She's got more years to play.
Well, we do have a couple, at least one aging out that I know of on Jacksonville. Number 63, Noel. She will be aging out this year and will be joining the Adult Roller Derby League in Jacksonville as while attending nursing school at Jacksonville University.
Wow, that's a lot of work. Both
that
roller
is
derby
a lot
and
of
nursing.
work.
Lining up for jam number 2, we had a 2-0 run for Jacksonville in that last jam. We've got Elena Young jamming for Jacksonville, and I believe that is number 44, Tyranny, with the star for Rose City.
And we got the lead jam for Elena Young out front, but close behind her is Tyranny for Rose City.
And the pack's speeding up a bit. Rose now trying to set up on the corner. Elena Young sneaks out at least 2. Let's see. Yes, 2 fingers up. A second.
And Jacksonville down 2 blockers at the start of this next jam. That's going to be an advantage to Rose City's benefit.
Indeed it will. Rose City, as you mentioned, the 4-2 pack advantage. Both jammers rolling back behind the jammer line. Forcing a little zoom in by our cameras.
Ariana Cantrell and Brianna Page taking the line for Jacksonville as the single 2 defenders. Noel with your lead jam for Jacksonville.
And that is, I believe that's not, although it says, it didn't now as they've updated it to Demon Speed. I'm like, that didn't look like LCU Later. That is Demon Speed jamming for Rose City and held up at the back of the pack.
With a strong 3-person wall by Jacksonville, but Rose City still doing some work against Noel, putting 4 on the board. 5 on the board.
Yes, Noel breaking through with the 5-point grand slam pass. Swings around the outside. Beautiful cut around the edge. Stays in bounds, calls off the jam, collects a second 4 points, and stops the jam before Rose City can get anything. So another third consecutive shutout jam.
So I had mentioned that Jacksonville Junior Roller Derby lost against Atlanta, and won against Crooked River. Who did Rose City play against this weekend?
Well, Rose City, they won in their first round against the Chick Whips. They then lost to the Santa Cruz Derby Grom Shells, who had a barn burner of a game against Los Anarchists earlier today. And Jacksonville with a fourth straight lead jam. This number 62, Olivia Glisson, jamming for the first time today, or this afternoon anyway, in this game. And you got number 17, Trickster, jamming for the Rosebuds. Trickster swinging around the outside as the jam is called. Glisson tapping the hips to end things with a 2-point run. So a fourth straight shutout jam for Rose City. That takes Jacksonville to 15. I want to mention, while Tool Time has stepped away from the mic for a moment, if you've got questions about the awesome action you're seeing this weekend or you would like to get in touch with us, please use the hashtag #TalkToJRDA. That's TALK number 2 JRDA. Chat with us on the Twitter. And don't forget to follow the JRDA on Twitter using @JRDA_rocks. Elena Young with the star for Jacksonville, number 8, LCU Later, jamming for the Rosebuds. And LCU Later almost clear at the front. Cuts in and cuts the track. Thought that the jammer or the blocker making the run back had in fact gone out of bounds, but that was not the case. So a cut track there, and we also had a jammer penalty on Elena Young that I did not catch. I think it was probably while I was reading the script about the hashtag. So that power jam over. And now no lead jammer available.
So that's going to make this whole 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the jam for Jacksonville or Rose City's favor. Jacksonville right now with a good point spread, but still very early in this game. But Rose City, especially right here with some great walls and some individual blocking.
Yep, Rose City looking to, this is their first game of the day. Jacksonville, of course, played earlier, and a number of these Jacksonville skaters also on the Attack Pack roster.
Absolutely.
And that may come into play later in the game, depending, as the Attack Pack playing at 7 o'clock this evening.
Well, it wouldn't be Derby if there wasn't a complication or two,
exactly.
Now would it?
No, it would not. I know that Jacksonville playing with a shorter roster. They're only rostered 13 for this game because some of the other girls are over getting ready for that Attack Pack game. So 5 points up for Elena Young as the power jams are over. LCU Later still working on an initial pass, and Elena Young threw for a second Grand Slam. That is now the highest scoring game jam for either team in this game with 10 total points.
And we're nearing the end of this jam. Elena, as you said, with 10 points. Excellent work for Jacksonville. As we said, Jacksonville skating short and did skate earlier today, so fatigue will eventually set in. But right now, at this exact moment, with 15 points on the board, courtesy of Elena Young, it's not hurting Jacksonville yet, but I'm not counting Rose City out because we've seen some impressive things from them this weekend.
That we have. They had a very good game with the Chick Whips, and they fought a hard battle with Santa Cruz, but Santa Cruz, as expected, walking away with the win in that game. Now up Tyranny jamming against Knoll. Tyranny pushing towards the front as Jacksonville taking the front of the line, now ridging back a skater. Knoll fighting left and right. Tyranny one skater to beat at the front of the pack, but Knoll is going to emerge first, lead jammer.
But still an excellent fight put up by Rose City's jammer as well as blockers who are too shy, forming a wall at the very front while Jacksonville forms the tripod in the back. Calls it. Did she get points? And it looks like 2.
2 points for Rose City puts them on the board. I think I'm seeing 3 up.
That looks like 3 for Jack.
Yes.
It is difficult to see, but fortunately we have some great cameramen out here today, so that's making everything much easier for us here in the booth.
That it is. It looks like 3-3. Each team with 1 blocker in the penalty box, so a 2 pass gets you 3 points. So Rose City on the board now, a 30-point deficit still. Jacksonville up 33-3, and a heavy shoulder check from number 423 Spencer, and a penalty called. So our second jammer penalty for Jacksonville.
And that's Ariana Cantrell going to the penalty box, making this a power jam for Rose City. Let's see what they can do with it.
Demon Speed, his lead jammer, was forced out of bounds, but the blocker that hit her rolled out as well.
And that looks like Olivia Glisson for Jacksonville. Jacksonville will be down one blocker while Rose City's at full strength, and Rose City taking full advantage. That looks like a grand slam to me, Scott.
Yes, indeed, it does. Tool time. That was a 5-point pass. And Demon Speed now back engaged as the power jam ends. Ariana Cantrell out of the penalty box, up against the four-wall blob of Rose City defense.
And Ari Cantrell, one of those skaters we talked about, skating for Attack Pack as well as skating for Team USA East.
And picks up the high block, came charging into the middle of that tripod. Great effort because she was going right at the joint between the skaters, but getting a little bit too high. Made some illegal contact. Power jam resumes for Demon Speed and Rose City.
And that's something that I've seen a lot here this weekend. But all these teams here are top-notch derby teams, as well as the refs that have come and volunteered their time. It's very minor mistakes that these players are making, but the refs are seeing it, calling it, and we definitely saw a lot of action in the penalty box yesterday.
Yes, we did. Demon Speed 15 points so far on the jam as Ariana Cantrell released from the penalty box and back into the wild. Demon Speed pushing at the front of the pack. Two Jacksonville blockers holding her tight at the corner, and Cantrell with the cut track. 3 jammer penalties in one jam. Not a good start. We saw that in the LA Santa Cruz game earlier today, where a couple of jammers just had repeated trips to the box right out of the bat.
Absolutely. And that's the high score jam of the game at 20 points. Speaking, as you were saying, this is working out well for Rose City, who was held for a couple of jams at no points, now within striking distance with an amazing 20-point jam. Jacksonville calls a review. What do you think it's going to be, Scott?
I'm guessing it's got to be about jammer penalties, right? What else could they be reviewing? That's the only. I'm not sure even which one, because there were 3. But I'm getting probably the last one. You would think that one they at least get her out of the penalty box. If they review an earlier one, it's just taken off the board. But it'll be interesting to see if they win or otherwise. And I see the Rose City pleading their case, it appears. But it is Jacksonville official review, at least as indicated. Although the way I see the guy pointing, he is pointing at the Rose City bench. So perhaps our label on the scoreboard is incorrect. We shall see.
Well, either way, this is really early in the first half to be using your official review. Yes, it was a major jam at the high-scoring jam of the game so far, still early in with 20 points for Rose City, putting a 10-point difference between the two, but still very early for an official review. And if you have anything to say about it, we have a hashtag for that, don't we?
Yes, we do. Hashtag Talk2JRDA. That's Talk, the number 2, JRDA. People are monitoring it, not me right now because I'm, talking. And we've got a screen with the game on in front of us and not Twitter, but,
And I still have a MySpace account, so I don't know what this Twitter thing is. But we also have you could follow JRDA on Twitter at JRDA_rocks. That's all capital JRDA_rocks. And there is a hashtag JRDH, hashtag JRDH amps.
Wow, there's all kinds of hashtags going on here.
Hashtag I know.
Hashtag World Cup. Join us for the World Cup coming up Monday and Tuesday. That will be live on twitch.tv. Monday the 23rd, Tuesday the 24th, Junior Roller Derby World Cup teams from Europe, Australia, Great Britain, Canada, 2 teams from the United States, a USA East and a USA West, divided as the country is between by kind of the Mississippi River, I think. I'm not really sure. I didn't.
Let's
do a
go
poll.
with that.
We'll call it the Mississippi River.
Historically, that's a good way of separating everything. So let's go with that.
East and West, not red and blue. No politics involved. It's just roller derby. So that will be on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/WFTDA, and it's free. You can watch both days for free. 6-team round robin on Monday, and then a bracketed tournament on Tuesday. It's going to be crazy good fun.
Speaking of crazy, you were correct. The official review is by Rose City now.
So maybe they're, unless they had two, but I see the ball is back for Jacksonville. So I was like, maybe they did one official review and then another. No, not the case. Team Australia is in the house. I saw them earlier. They were fooling people into sampling Vegemite by telling them it was chocolate. Actually, that was not technically. I don't believe that was, in fact, Team Australia telling people it was chocolate. I think that was parents trying to fool their own children into trying it and saying it was chocolate. But either way.
I will happily take that challenge because I have a sister in Australia who sent me not only Vegemite, which is a unique profile, but she also sent me a number of boxes of Tim Tams. And if you're from Australia, you know exactly those delicious snacks of which I speak.
Do you dip the Tim Tam in the Vegemite? Have you tried that? Is that a good mix?
I think a Tim Tam on its own is always great, but you know what goes great with the Tim? A Scott chicken.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yep, I'm clever as well.
That was super clever. All right, our producer Gretchen is back, perhaps with the results of the official review. Tool time receiving a note. What do we got?
I'm having an issue reading it. White requested.
An insubordination on number 101. The no call will stand. I speak Gretchen's handwriting. Because I have sloppy handwriting myself, so I'm like, oh, I know what those words are. That looks like insub.
And again, what goes well with the Tim, but a Scott to help me understand things. And we want to thank Gretchen joining us here as our producer, giving us all kinds of good information.
The referee's still conferring, however. Maybe now they're working on, I don't know, discussing the after party. There isn't really an after party today, other than perhaps, I don't know, maybe they're going to Wawa to get a sub.
I have an excellent idea about what they may be discussing.
Yes?
Does a Tim Tam work well with Vegemite?
It's very possible.
It's totally possible. We don't know what the refs are up to, but right now we know that Rose City is up to a power start. Jacksonville down one blocker, as well as Rose City with their jam blocker standing and entering the pack now.
That is number 17, Trickster, jamming for Rose City, while Ariana Cantrell sits in the penalty box awaiting release. Ariana now joined by a blocker, number 719, Mad Dog Maddie, as Trickster finally clear and lead jammer, second straight jam that Rose City has had lead, and second jam of the game that Rose City has had lead.
And Ariana Cantrell rejoining the game from the penalty box. 20-point jam for the last one for Rose City, putting them within striking distance. Let's see if she can make that up as Rose City sends a blocker to the penalty box, joined by a blocker from Jacksonville, as another blocker from Jacksonville is released from the penalty box.
Trickster forced to the infield, recycled around, quickly cut across the middle to come back in, snuck through to grab all 5 points, as she had engaged the pack during the penalty. And we will start off the next jam with a 5-point game, 33-28. 2 blockers on the track for Jacksonville, all 4 blockers on the track for Rose City. Oh, I'm sorry, make that 3 blockers on the track for Rose City.
No, you're
looking,
yes.
I was looking straight on, and it looked
like
that
looks like I'll see you later out there for Rose City. That looks like Elena Young out there for Jacksonville, and it is getting your lead jam for Jacksonville.
That breaks a 2-jam string of Rose City having lead as LCU later pops out of the pack.
Excellent footwork by Elena Young, who gets through, calls it,
and collects all 4 points. That's the first points in a couple of jams for Jacksonville, now up by 9, 37-28.
And Jacksonville looks like they have a full penalty box with 2 blockers standing and 1 sitting in the box. That's going to create a unique situation for Ariana Cantrell, who is out there all alone against 4 blockers for Rose City.
Indeed, and just barely ahead, Tyranny, like a step ahead of Olivia Glisson. Glisson following Tyranny right through the pack, and Rose City not able to stop her. But they are able to bust their jammer free.
putting how many on the board? I couldn't quite see
it. I
it.
believe that was 4 for Rose City and 2 for Jacksonville as Glisson rushing right into the pack.
Current score is 39-32. Just over 17 minutes left in this half. Rose City a slow start to begin with, but that power jam really brought them back in with 20 points.
That it did. It's a testament to the power of the jammer penalty. We've seen it throughout most Derby games. It's like if you keep your jammer out of the penalty box, you're going to keep the game tighter, or at least not give as much a chance for a big momentum swing. Elena Young, number 37, is your lead jammer for Jacksonville. Demon Speed with the star for Rose City, out about a third of a lap behind. As Elena Young swings around the outside of Big Bang Fury. Collects the points, calls off the... I see 4 points, but I also see a 4. Was that a forearm? No, I guess it was not. I thought he was signaling a forearm, and then he put up 4 points. I'm like, what are you doing? It was just adjusting the wrist guard and then the 4 points.
Well, Jacksonville gaining some momentum back, but still, Jacksonville, it may just be me, but it seems like Jacksonville is having a little problem keeping people out of the penalty box.
They seem to. It'll be interesting at halftime. We can run down and check on the penalty count. Yeah, that will feel like it does feel like they've been in more than Rose.
Absolutely, and they've had a problem with that all weekend, especially with Los Anarchists yesterday going to the penalty box quite a bit. In the meantime, Noel gets your lead jam for Jacksonville going up against Trickster. Trickster doing some work, but Glisson holding the line with single blocking, held together by the bridge by Elena Young. Noel back engaging in the pack, and Rose City with a strong wall just off of turn 3.
That was a beautiful slowdown and absorption of the Rose City jammer by Glisson and the rest of Jacksonville, as the Rose City pack had to keep trying to catch up, and now a forearm penalty sending Trickster to the penalty box. So power jam Jacksonville and Noel up with 5 points already and rolling through on a second scoring pass.
Jacksonville sending another blocker to the penalty box. Rose City doing a great job with breaking up walls, but Noel just powering through. Another 5 points for Jacksonville as Jacksonville's regained its momentum. For now. For now,
yes. Jacksonville waiting for Noel to make the beginning move. Comes in for the sweep. Noel calls off the jam, grabs 2 more points, and locks Trickster in the penalty box. So a 12-0 run takes Jacksonville to 55, Rose City 32 with 14.5 minutes to go in this first period.
And we have Elena Young with a power star for Jacksonville at this one. Jacksonville 1 blocker down, but jammer is standing. Trickster, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, Trickster standing in the penalty box, ready to come back in. And Rose City with some great lateral movements just off of the jammer line.
Trickster out of the penalty box trying to break through. Elena Young, 2 skaters to beat. Jukes to the outside, takes a big shoulder knockout from Big Bang Fury as Trickster spinning. But again, that waterfall forward from Jacksonville. Trickster finally clears lead jammer Rose City.
Excellent job by Trickster on that one, fresh out of the box.
And the no pass, no penalty, but no matter as Elena Young is clear of the pack. Trickster grabs the points, calls off the jam. A 4-0 Rose City run, 36-56.
Another 20-point difference between the two teams, and we've seen that gap get bridged in just a single jam, courtesy of Rose City. Both teams at full strength on blockers, no one in the penalty box. And it looks like I'll see you later at the jammer line going up against Olivia Glisson.
And I'll see you later. You are correct. And through super quickly as Glisson hung up with the offense opening the lane on the inside edge.
A little bit of a pile up on turn 1.
Just a touch. You know, nothing hurts when you run into your own blocker and knock them down and then they trip you.
Absolutely. One of the comments we hear a lot announcing Junior Roller Derby is these kids are fearless and they just they'll collision in and then they'll come right back in. How do they do it? And the answer is thus. They don't have to pay insurance premiums yet.
Is that it?
I think that's what it is.
Also,
that's just my personal opinion.
The young always feel they're invincible. 5 points up for the Rose City Rollers. Takes them to 41. Jacksonville 56. 12 minutes and counting left in this first period. Tyranny with the star for the Rosebuds All-Stars.
And it looks like Elena Young out there for Jacksonville. Jacksonville down one blocker at the start of this jam.
Yes, they've got Melchert in the penalty box currently.
And Rose City powers through with Noel for Jacksonville going to the penalty box.
That is their third straight lead jammer call of this of the last three jams, and a swooping through 5 points for Tyranny.
And if I may have missed it, but it looked like number 4 for Jacksonville was on her way to the penalty box, but Jacksonville's penalty box full, so had to go back into play.
That could be. 4 is back on the track, and now I believe reporting as 5 more points up for Tyranny, a 10-point run. Now a 5-point game, and Tyranny hops through the corner, and that's going to tie it up right there. 15 total on the jam, and a power jam as Elena Young heads to the penalty box. Didn't catch what the call was, but the result is the same. Jammer sitting, and Tyranny on the power jam pass racks up another 520 total now on the jam as the Rose City Rollers, for the first time in the game, have taken the lead 61-56.
Amazing job. As I said, with earlier we saw them bridge the gap with a 20-point jam. Now we see them taking the lead with a now 25-point jam. And they've been doing a great job at whittling away at Jacksonville's lead as Elena Young enters the pack.
Well, they haven't. They've got 28 seconds left in the jam, and I believe Elena Young still on the initial pass, with Tyranny bumped to the inside. Decides, that's enough. I'm going to call off the jam. I'm going to collect, I think, maybe one more point. Maybe it's a 0. I can't see. His fingers in the back wall.
That is a 0 from my eyes. We'll see on the screen soon enough. But that was a 25-point jam. And if I remember correctly, the last one was done by Rose City, a 20-point high score of the jam of the game. And now Rose City holds another record for 25 points on that jam.
That they do. And now we've got an official timeout as the scorers needing to check in.
And for the last 3 jams, Rose City has been on a 34-point run. Amazing roller derby by Rose City. We have an official timeout called.
Yep, 34-0 for the last 3 jams. That is definitely
very
sizable.
impressive. And just because I've seen Jacksonville a couple of times here, and they've been a staple. Gotham's been a staple. Your own Seattle has been a staple here at JRDA Champs. And now we're starting to see those staples, like the people we're used to seeing, having some new competition come in with Los Anarchists, and we had Savannah come in earlier this week.
So power start as Elena Young starting in the penalty box. Oh, and a cut track penalty on Demon Speed. Just as I said, Demon Speed was about to get lead jammer. Well, not so much. And will sit the full 30 seconds as Elena Young released just before Demon Speed got back to the penalty box. So lead jammer still available as Elena Young starting in the penalty box, bouncing around the Rosebuds, not able to regroup in time, and lead jammer awarded to Jacksonville, first lead in 4 jams.
Jacksonville and Rose City back at full strength for blockers. Elena Young comes in, looked like she got 2 points, and ref is holding up 2.
Yep, caught that one blocker, picks up the jammer point. Let's give a power start to the next jammer. Demon Speed standing in the penalty box.
And that looks like Olivia Glisson standing on the line for Jacksonville. A lot of lead changes so far in this game as we have 8 minutes, 20 seconds left. but I'm still getting over the 34-point run.
Yeah.
That is incredibly
3 jams,
impressive.
34 points. Well, we'll see if Jacksonville can mount its equal as Glisson threw quickly for lead jammer. Demon Speed also now out of the penalty box, cap in hand, trying to possibly get to the pivot. The pivot a bit tied up, playing defense right now. Pivot on this jam, number 13, Fulagora. And Fulagora acting as the kickstand, now moving back, takes the star and runs through the pack. Completes that initial pass as Olivia Glisson breaks clear of the pack, checks in with the bench, calls off the jam.
But excellent work by Rose City on that one. And now we have Knoll taking the line for Jacksonville. And that's number 17, Trickster, who's been doing a great job. We've got some notes here. What has Trickster been doing for Rose City
What has
so
Trickster
far?
done? She's gotten lead twice. Looks like she's got about 9 points. She's jammed. I think this is her 4th time. She does have at least one jammer penalty. Got
we
a
won't hold
forearm
that
a couple of
against her.
jams ago, but who doesn't have a jammer penalty these days? All the kids are doing it.
All the cool kids have a jammer penalty.
Yeah, come on. So Trickster pushing to the front, getting a little offensive assistance from number 75, Lemmy Adam, while Knoll hung up at the back of the pack. And all 4 Jacksonville blockers just converging on Trickster as Lemmy Adam forced to bridge, leaving the tripod at the back now, stepping back to bridge 7-13 Melchert for Jacksonville. A high block penalty being called.
And that's on 252 for Rose City, pack animal. Rose City down 1 blocker. And these blockers are definitely showing what they've got as individual blocking on the outside of turn 2 gets Knoll your lead jam, but not without a strong effort.
Exactly, and Trickster busting out right behind Knoll. Knoll calls off the jam. Figuring burn a little clock. The Jacksonville trailing by 4. Rose City Rollers 66. Jacksonville Duval All-Stars 62. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first period of play.
And that's the first scoreless jam that Rose City has had, I believe.
First scoreless for both teams, I think.
Yes, first scoreless for both teams. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like, well, each team has been shut out at least once, but not at the same time. So.
And I'll see you later out there for Rose City.
And that is Elena Young, number 37, jamming for Jacksonville. And Elena Young threw first lead jammer, 4 straight jams that Jacksonville has had lead.
But Trooper 17-17 for Rose City doing a great block on the outside, holding her up, not making it easy for either side.
No, and the Rose City defense there with a hold and a cut track penalty called on Elena Young. It looked like Trooper ran forward to knock her out and then went, oh, I don't have to. You're already on your way to the box. Okay. So power jam now for number 8, LCU later. Rolling back behind the pack and putting the star back on the helmet. And out of play block thinning out the Jackson pack as Ariana Cantrell heads to the penalty box.
It's going to be interesting to see how all these penalties for both sides, but as I said, Jacksonville spending a good deal of time in the penalty box. It's going to be interesting to see what that translates to in the second half.
Yes, Olivia Glisson picking up a high block on that last run, so only 2 blockers on the track right now for Jacksonville and 5 points up for the Rosebuds All-Stars, taking them to 71. Now a 9-point lead. As Elena Young out of the penalty box, but LCU later, room on the outside. Another 5-point run. And 4 points up for Elena Young on that pass as 4 up again for LCU later. And the pack just seeming to go, hey, we'll just let you guys skate around. It'll be fine. We've got another 8 seconds of this jam to go. We don't have a lead jammer. What the heck?
But this jam has worked in Rose City's favor with a 14-point jam, maybe a few more. And it looks like a 17-point jam on this one.
3 coming in right at the end, so that's 83 Rose City. Jacksonville picking up 5, though. Had the 4 on the first pass right before the penalty, and then 1 more for Elena Young at the end. 67 there, so still within striking distance, and 3 minutes to go in the first half, and we saw Jacksonville definitely has the power, and they had a number of good shutdown jams at the first part of the half.
Absolutely. Both teams doing a great job, but it seems to me that Rose City is putting the higher scores on the board. Right now, Noel for Jacksonville has your lead jam, while Ari Cantrell in the back is doing some work against Rose City's Tyranny. Joined by the rest of the pack as a strong wall is formed, but Rose City doing the great job with the tripod and recycling, taking out all of Noel's momentum, but Noel powering through, putting 5 on the board.
Jacksonville back to full strength, and it's definitely showing as they're on lockdown mode now. One blocker to beat for Tyranny, and Tyranny did step out of bounds and come back in. Thought the foot was still in bounds, but not the case. Cut track penalty, Rose City, power jam, Noel and Jacksonville, and we've got a 6-point game right now, 83-77.
55
Noel.
seconds left in the jam, but 2 minutes left in this half. Noel getting held up just off turn 1, and excellent recycling by Rose City. Jacksonville holding her up, saved by the jam clock, because Rose City looks like they could have taken her all the way back to the jammer line on that one.
Certainly trying. So a 14-point jam for Jacksonville takes us to a 2-point game, 81-83. And a power start for Jacksonville as well. Number 37, that will be Elena Young with the star with 1:30 and counting to go in our first period of play.
An excellent game so far. The last 3 games that we've seen on the female division side have been amazing. We had Santa Cruz against Los Anarchists, which came down to the last jam. We had the game that was just before it came down, Foco versus Gotham, came down to a 10-point difference. And right now, we've got a lead jam for Jacksonville, courtesy of Elena Young.
And a swoop around the outside. One Rose City blocker able to rush to the front to try and slow things down, but not able to close the deal. That was 423 Spencer on the run-up, I believe, unless it was misdemeanor, but just saw the 3. I think it was Spencer. I'm fairly certain that's Spencer. In any case, 4 points up. And that gives us a 2-point lead right now for Jacksonville as another roll through. This time the thumb comes out, 5 points total. Tyranny has passed the star off out of the penalty box to number 26, Mace of Spades. The pivot, Mace of Spades now holding the helmet cover, but trying to work around, not quite able to yet. As Elena Young forced out of bounds and recycles, then one legs it through the inside edge. Grabs another 5 points. 14 total as the period clock ticks down to 0. And a forearm.
Absolutely. Who was that skater you were just going on?
That was number 26, Mace of Spades.
So that's good. We're now out of the period clock. We're now just on the jam time.
And that is a call off of the jam by Elena Young. So Rose City will start with the jammer in the penalty box for the second half, a 17-0 run. Time. That's a good jump back up. Jacksonville in the lead, 98-83.
Absolutely, but we still have to show some respect to Rose City for a 34-0 lead. Falling a little slow at the beginning, but then catching up at that 20-point jam really brought them back into it. And now with just that last jam, Jacksonville has regained the lead. Jacksonville spending, it seems to me, a lot of time in the penalty box, and we'll check on that later to get a better number of it. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second half as not only players wear down physically, but as the numbers of penalties start adding up.
Indeed. So we will take a 9-minute break, and we'll be back with the second half of Jacksonville versus Rose City. You are watching the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships live on WFTDA.tv.
And we're back.
We are back. You were just in time to get back in the chair.
Just in time to learn about the penalties that you got. What have we got, Scott?
As we expected, Jacksonville having some penalty trouble. 25 total penalties for Jacksonville, 12 for the Rosebuds. On the Jacksonville side, you've got Ariana Cantrell, number 101, with 4. Elena Young has 4. Brianna Page, number 4, has 3. Annabelle Hines, number 8, has 5. So those, also with 3 is Olivia Glisson. So Hines close, only has 2 to give. Nobody's at 6, so that's good.
That's
and
a good way to
5.
start the second half.
Not so bad. On the Rose City side, you've only got 2. Big Bang Fury and Mace of Spades each have 2. The rest of those 12 spread out over 10 different skaters. So everybody with 1 or 2, but definitely Jacksonville visiting our friends in the penalty booth a little bit more often than perhaps they wanted to.
Well, maybe Team Australia put some Vegemite in there, and that's what's making them coming back.
They're like, oh, we need this extra whatever is in Vegemite.
Well, as far as the skaters with Ariana Cantrell, Elena Young, Brianna Page, and Olivia Glisson, and as well as Annabelle Hines, those are some of their more stable skaters and some of their top skaters. And with the leads changing so much in the first half, it's going to be interesting, as I said again, what effect that's going to have. Because
True. Yes.
Ariana is an amazing blocker. That's what got her on USA East.
All right.
If she's gone, who's gonna take that place? And it's the same for a couple of the skaters as we go into the second half. Current score 98-83, and Jacksonville with a power start. With, I believe, Trickster was in the penalty box, if I remember right. I see a 6 over there.
No, it was 26.
Yes, thank you.
We had the star pass at the end of that last jam to Mace of Spades, who was starting off in the penalty box. 15-point Jacksonville lead after that 17-point run in the last jam.
And we have Noel out there for Jacksonville getting taken to the outside by number 423 from Rose City. Gets the lead jam. Rose City getting another blocker in. It looks like we have a cover stash by Rose City as she tries to power through a strong 4-person wall from Duval. Meanwhile, Jacksonville going to the penalty box for a cut track. That makes this a power jam for Rose City.
Yes, and we're trying to sneak the star off to number 1717. Trooper is your pivot for Rose City, and I believe now does she have the star or does 26 have it? See, even I can't tell. Of course, given we're on the opposite side of the track and looking at a screen on the thing. But
well,
both
it
of them are.
doesn't seem to because the pivot is still doing some damage, so it may just be a flat-out stash as Olivia Glisson takes her back, almost getting taken out by 177, but with a fancy spin stays into play and keeps it going. And it does look like we do have a successful pass off to the pivot now.
Yep, 17-17 Trooper now with the star after some fakery and some attempts. And Noel also out of the penalty box now. Noel is on a scoring pass, I believe, as Noel had been awarded lead jammer. No pack is called, and there are the 4 points up for Noel on that first pass of the jam. Trooper now has put the star on the helmet.
And gets a cut track, it seems. That's going to make this another power jam, this time in favor of Jacksonville as Rose City sends both with a jammer and a blocker to the penalty box.
So 5 points up for Noel on the second pass, first of the power jam. Noel comes in, bumps into the line. Jacksonville sweeping forward to clear the road, and there's 5 more up. As Jacksonville and Noel extending the lead by 14 more points now, 112-83 as we end jam number 1 of the second period of play.
As you said, an excellent run by Jacksonville, putting 4 on the board, getting back the lead they had earlier. But I think I'm going to stop mentioning that because every time I have, Rose City has come back and either taken the lead or matched it up. So I'm going to stop because I may have the shining.
Yes, we don't want to jinx either team as we start on the power start. Trooper still sitting in the penalty box, so at least, well, now she's standing. So about a 10-second run left on the power jam as number 37, Elena Young, has emerged as your lead jammer.
17-17 back in play. No cover on the helmet, so we have a successful stash as Elena Young goes to the penalty box for a track cut. Rose City with your power jam, courtesy of Trooper.
So jam number 2, we've had 3 total jammer penalties, all 3 of them track cuts in this half. 1 each, 2 for Jacksonville, 1 for Rose City.
Annabelle Hines for Jacksonville going to the penalty box, and we have a cut track.
Exactly. I'm like, well, I think that's a point, and it's going to be another cut. Trooper dragging a toe out of bounds, and I think that she thought that she was cleared to come back in, but not the case. As she is called for the track cut penalty, so another 2-minute jam coming our way, and no score yet as we're under a minute to go in the jam. But that will all change as Elena Young from Jacksonville pops out with 5 points. Trooper now released from the penalty box and again has the star in hand.
Annabelle Hines rejoining the pack from the penalty box. Both jammers in play. Ari Cantrell doing some work against 17-17 for Rose City. Annabelle Hines getting in on there. Some great individual blocking.
And that was Hines. Remember, Hines started the period with 5 penalties, so that was the 6th. And I just saw Ariana Cantrell for Jacksonville also entering the penalty box. Now it's sitting at 5. 4 points up for Rose City. And 4 points also for Jacksonville, a 9-4 run so far as Elena Young bumped out of bounds and rolled back. Misdemeanor rolling back. Elena Young, time runs out on the jam, looking like 2 more points up for Rose City.
And another 3 for Jacksonville at 124-89, 25 minutes left. Still a very close game. Rose City sometimes losing their momentum from my side, but when they get it back, they are unstoppable. I'm still thinking about that 34-point run.
That was a pretty large bit of running where they were shutting down Jacksonville. We've got number 8 LCU later on the jammer line with the star for Rose City.
And that looks like Olivia Glisson out there for Jacksonville with your lead jam just barely as both jammers start going at each other neck and neck, about to join the pack.
And Glisson forced to call off the jam as the Jacksonville blockers starting to mingle in with the pack, trying to open a lane. But that was going to work for either team.
Yeah,
you can't play if you're playing offense and everybody's playing offense. Then everybody's getting through.
Absolutely, and it's better to have a 0 scoring pass than to just have it be a wash. Just save the endurance for later on, because the last 10 minutes of Derby is when the conditioning that both teams go under shows.
Exactly, and Jacksonville, the team in the lead, getting to burn some more clock in the space between jams. Tyranny now with the star and lead jammer, first lead jammer of the half for the Rose City Rollers. Noel with the star for Jacksonville, and Noel rolling out as Tyranny looking to swing through the middle, practically untouched, collects the 4 points, calls off the jam. And was Noel able to get any? No, I do not believe so. That is a second scoreless jam for Jacksonville, 4 points up, taking Rose City to 93. Let's mention the Cups, the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups, streamed live right here on WFTDA.tv. More details after this jam because I waited too long and now it's 5 seconds to go.
No worries. We got Olivia Glisson out there jamming for Jacksonville, going up against Demon Speed for Rose City.
And Glisson is out lead jammer. This is her second jam of the half and second time getting lead. Olivia Glisson taking 1 jam off as jammer between the last time she jammed and now.
Excellent 4-person walls. That looks like Mad Dog Maddie for Jacksonville coming in to break up the tripod. Successful. Olivia Glisson gets through, makes the pass, putting 5 on the board. Meanwhile, with a cover stash by Demon Seed, still unable to make anything happen against the 4-person wall from Jacksonville.
And Rose City sending the pivot forward to first attempt some offense, now pick up the star and takes a heavy shoulder to the sternum and knocked to the track on the outside. But now putting it on, that is number 26, Mace of Spades. And a back block penalty called on
Listen for Jacksonville. That's going to make this a power jam for Rose City as they send a blocker to the penalty box.
That blocker, Big Bang Fury, who started the half with 2 penalties and now sitting on at least 3 as Mesa Spades dumped to the outside, now back on the feet and rolling back behind the pack as Jacksonville pulling everybody back to practically the start of turn 3. That was a long run back is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. An excellent strategy by Jacksonville, not only to tire out Rose City's jammer, but to kill time for their jammer to get out of the penalty box. Glisson re-entering the pack now as Rose City's blocker comes in. A 10-point run so far for Jacksonville as the jam timer goes down. And it looks like we have Knoll taking the line for Jacksonville. And it looks like Trickster from here, if I'm seeing it right.
Yep, that would be Trickster. We got the Rose City coach out having a chat, and I see 4 points up at the end of that for Jacksonville. So a 14-point run, 138-93, as Rose City held scoreless again. So Jacksonville starting to stretch out their lead. Trickster tripped up in the middle of the pack. I see a low block being signaled. Nobody has exited. That's number 713, Mad Dog Matty. I'm sorry.
Melcher.
You're right. I looked at the number and then jumped to a line below for the name.
No worries. We all make mistakes, like mixing Tim Tams with Vegemite.
That would be a mistake.
That would. Don't do it, man.
Trickster 2 to beat, now 1, and finally pops out lead jammer Trickster of Rose City. Rose City shedding Fulagora to the penalty box, so no pivot in play for the Rosebuds All-Stars as Knoll finally clears the pack. Trickster goes to the hips. Knoll bumped to the outside. I see 2 points up. And 4
for Rose City, and it looks like 2 for Jacksonville on that one.
140-97. It's Rose City creeping up on the 100-point mark.
Just under 20 minutes left in this game. Still not counting out Rose City, who has been holding strong. Jacksonville just whittling up on their lead as we have Elena Young take the line against Tyranny. And Elena Young going to the penalty box for a track cut.
And Tyranny heading to the penalty box for a blocking with the head. So that will be a quick jammer swap. Has Elena Young back out, Tyranny back out. 2-minute jam for everybody. Let's just reset and start.
This has been a test. Had this been an actual jam start. An excellent block by Rose City, bringing Elena back just before the end of turn 3.
And Tyranny able to sprint out, finally completing the initial pass. As Elena Young recycled again, Tyranny now on a scoring run. And number 62, Olivia Glisson, heading to the penalty box, thinning down the Duval pack to 3.
And that's 5 on the board for Tyranny. Elena Young back in, still trying to make something happen. Tyranny with the 5 points scored for this game, but we will be going for this jam. But Elena with another cut track. That's going to make this a power jam for Tyranny, who's putting it to her advantage. And from your notes earlier, that puts Elena Young at 5, doesn't it?
Let's see.
6.
No, I think
unofficially.
Unofficially, did she have another? Oh, yes, she did have one earlier. So, yes, that would be the unofficial 6 points. Meanwhile, Tyranny has officially 15 points on the jam after that third pass through. No lead jammer, so we got another 17 seconds. Could squeeze in another as Rose City moving forward on some offense, but also regrouping, awaiting the return of Elena Young. And
I don't think we're going to see that return. Elena Young is standing, but it looks to be behind the penalty box. That may be lucky number 7.
I believe you are correct, because she would have come back into the game, is now being instructed to skate over and so they're giving her a couple of different wave offs. Like, yeah, go back to your bench, give them the helmet thing, and then you can move on.
An excellent game by Elena Young, but those penalties will get you every time. And when you hit lucky number 7, that's it. And with 17 minutes left in this game, Jacksonville down one of its key jammers. And it looks like we have an official timeout being called while Jacksonville regroups a little bit. Elena Young skating back to the penalty box.
Now they're calling. Now the penalty box manager is walking her over to the bench. Not sure what the clarification is going on, but we'll get things. Still get things sorted out. Meanwhile, we've got Jacksonville 140, Rose City 116. Just over a quarter of the game remaining. 16 minutes 43 seconds.
And what damage did Rose City do on that last jam? That was
19 points.
Wow.
3 5s and a 4.
Excellent jam by Rose City on that one. And we are seeing Elena Young skating off the track, being escorted by one of the Jacksonville parents. So Jacksonville down one of their key jammers.
Exactly. One of the, within JRDA, when you foul out, I believe the WFTDA rules are you return to your locker room area, but since these are juniors, they just get to go off with the parent, get geared down, and then they can go sit in the stands as long as they're not, interfering with the game in any way.
And for safety reasons as well, because JRDA is very adamant about safety. In the meantime, I'll see you later doing some amazing work out there for Rose City, going up against Noel from Jacksonville. Noel taken to the inside, but a strong 3-person wall is I'll see you later doing some work against Ariana Cantrell.
And I'll see you later is lead jammer, although she was absorbed back into the pack. And Noel clear to the pack. And I'll see you later calls off the jam just as Noel arrives at the pack. And Noel taking a big hip check right at the end of the jam. Did grab 1 point, so LCU later not able to call it off quite in time to stop the scoring. So we are at 141 to 116.
And that looks like Olivia Glisson out there for Jacksonville.
And I believe that is Demon Speed, number 138, jamming for the Rose City Rosebuds. We'll see as they get closer to the camera and or to our corner. V. Glisson keeps the feet inbounds, cuts through the inside. Beautiful move, lead jammer, Jacksonville. First lead jammer in 4 jams for the Jacksonville Duval All-Stars. And a star pass over the middle, 26 now taking the star from Demon Speed. 26 Mace of Spades clears the pack quickly as Glisson forced out of bounds, rolls back, calls off the jam. Beautifully executed star pass over the middle of the pack.
Looks like 3 points to be on that jam. And it looks like we have Ari Cantrell joining the jammer line for Jacksonville. Is that the first we've seen her in this half?
Let me see. 101. Yes, this half definitely. And she jammed a couple of times in the first half.
Okay.
Ariana Cantrell is sitting on at least 5 penalties, so I can see why they would have held her out for the first part of this half.
And she's going against Trickster, and we already have the jammer Jacksonville facing the Trickster, thinking that they're trying to use her as a 5th blocker, but Ari Cantrell is shown to be a very effective jammer. And with a cut track, that's another one for Ariana Cantrell as Rose City gets another lead jam.
Rose City trailing 116 to 144, and a hop of the corner. Trickster, did she land the feet inbounds? Doesn't think so. Is crawling back out to make sure you don't pick up the cut. Entering into the back of the pack, now cutting to the outside, ducking, swooping back to the middle, playing bumper pool off of a couple of blockers, and able to maintain and pick up 5 points. As Ariana Cantrell out of the penalty box now, I believe, sitting on 6 penalties. So has to be extra careful. And is that going to be called as a forearm? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I saw the hand come in, and I'm like, that looked like that could be pushing on the back, and that's what the referee saw as well. So that, I believe, is the 7th penalty for Ariana Cantrell. So a full power jam. The question will be, will Trickster and the coaches figure out oh, this is the 7th penalty, and will they let her keep running, or do they call the jam off? Now, obviously, once she is released, she will stand to the side. Trickster now with 10 points so far on the jam, and Jacksonville tightening up the defense at the front. It's number 13, Haley Sperling, holding down the tripod kickstand position as they bring a 4th blocker in, and Rose City throwing around. Spencer just busting into the middle like, I'm going to break up this thing, and the star has come off the helmet of Trickster. I think she's trying to make a pass. Not able to, as she's bumped out of bounds. Has to roll back behind as
So I'm afraid that the Jacksonville's penalty troubles keep on coming as Ari Cantrell was standing to the side of the penalty box. Another key player to Jacksonville's offense and defense stepping out. And with 12 minutes left, we already see Rose City taking advantage of their absence. A 14-point jam just off of the power jams they got from that.
Right.
And with 12 minutes left, and I'll see you later, manning the jammer cover with another lead jam. We can see another lead change before this game is done.
That is number 62, Olivia Glisson, jamming for Jacksonville. And Glisson halfway through, but LCU later cuts through the middle of the pack, calls off the jam, a 4-0 run. Now a 10-point game, 134-144. And Rose City putting on a run like they did late in the last half, although at the end of the last half, you'll remember Jacksonville got it back under control and brought things back and stretched out that lead. So, again, 10-point lead. Not insurmountable for Rose City, and not something that Jacksonville can go, we're firmly in the lead. We can relax now, especially as they've lost 2 skaters. They started the game with 13, so that leaves them with 11 on the lineup, and that is that's a chunk of skating. I'm tired just watching it. Jacksonville calling a timeout. Good time to finish my mention of the Continental Cups. Your 2018 WFTDA Continental Cup streamed live on WFTDA.tv. We start off with the North America East Cup coming from Kalamazoo, Michigan, August 17th through 19th. That is hosted by the Kalamazoo Derby Darlings. Then we head out to Omaha, Nebraska. North America West, the 2018 Continental Cup hosted by Omaha Roller Girls. That's August 24th through 26th. And our final Continental Cup is in Europe, hosted by Birmingham Blitz Dames, October 27th through 28th. Your watch passes for the Cups go on sale July 31st. Stay tuned. That is going to be fun.
For the Omaha Continental Cup on August 24th, I think I know someone who's going to be there,
I think
Scott.
you know a couple, 3 people who are going to be there. I will be there. Our producer for this game, Gretchen Little, will be there. And Deathnella, who's also calling games this weekend here at JRDA Championships, will be there as well. And Tyranny will not be there as lead jammer, but she is here in this game as lead jammer.
And a cut track on Jacksonville's jammer, number 5, Shandis Griffin. The first time I recall seeing her with the jammer cover on.
I believe you are correct in this game, at least. That is, yes, that's the first 5 I see on my little score sheet. So Power Jam, Tyranny, and Rose City, and 2 blockers on the track.
Gracie Knoll going to the penalty box as well. Jacksonville with a full penalty box. Their jammer is standing. This is going to get real difficult real quick as Tyranny has a only 5-point difference. And with that one, could have bridged the gap and does. 10-point jam, and we have a tie game again.
Shandis Griffin out of the penalty box now, still on, I believe, the initial pass for Jacksonville. As Jacksonville's blockers start returning, you'll see number 63 rolling into the screen shortly. And 13 also emerging, 4 points up for Tyranny, and Tyranny checking in with the bench. Waiting to see, do I want to call it off? The bench is saying no, let's just keep running this.
Brianna Page going to the penalty box for Jacksonville. An excellent 3-person wall formed by Jacksonville just off of turn 1 as Tyranny tries to keep this going. 14-point jam and a lead change. Just under 10 minutes left in this game. 20 seconds left in the jam.
Shandis Griffin out of the penalty box again, still struggling, working on that initial pass as the Rose City Rosebuds blockers just focusing in. Tyranny has lost the helmet cover, however, as it came off in the normal flow of play. Does call off the jam. You're allowed to do that because it did get knocked off. She didn't take it off.
Yes, we had an issue with that yesterday where the cover fell off and she called it. They were, I can't recall the name. I'll have to look it up. But the parents were going on, you can't call it if the cover is off, and you have something.
Yeah, it's only if you, I was just going to say we got another 4 points in there, so we're an 18-point jam, 152 to 144. But
and I believe it was the Rose City versus, nope, not Rose City and Santa Cruz. I think it was Angel City and Foco playing yesterday at 2 where the cover fell off, but the cover is on nicely on Demon Speed's helmet with the lead jam. Smackajoea for Jacksonville, first time with the star on the helmet.
Yes, Jacksonville, as we predicted with those foul outs, having to go deeper into the jammer rotation. Demon Speed collects, I believe, 3 points. Is that going to be a 3? Yes. And that will take Rose City to 155. Jacksonville held scoreless for the 4th straight jam with 144.
I was just about to ask how many it's been since Jacksonville's put points on. Rose City now with some momentum on their side.
Indeed, last points for Olivia Glisson back in jam number 9.
And thanks to Gretchen Little, the last 4 jams, 49 points to 0. And another amazing Rose City setting amazing records and then breaking them later.
And now Trickster jamming for Rose City, stopped up on the inside edge as number 63 Knoll back with the star for Jacksonville. And Knoll with the illegal contact penalty, the karate chop to the palm, heads to the penalty box. And a cut track call on Trickster, so both jammers in the penalty box. And another 2-minute jam. We've got jam clock and the period clock seconds fairly close, so it's going to be another minute and 10 seconds to go. Will be about 6 minutes remaining in the game by the time this one is over.
Knoll back in the pack trying to get Jacksonville's lead back. Rose City fired up by an amazing point spread, and it looks like we have a direction going against Rose City. That's going to send one of their blockers to the penalty box.
Big Bang Fury reporting on that direction play. Brings us to a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Jacksonville Duval, and they are locking those 4 down as we've got the double kickstand going on and stepping out the inside. Knoll breaks clear, completes the initial pass. Trickster still hung up also, I believe, on the initial pass. Knoll approaching the pack, bumped down in a forearm penalty, sending Trickster to the penalty box. So 2 jammer penalties for Trickster in 1 jam. Trickster was out of the first half with...
and we have a skater down.
Yep.
Knoll is down just off turn 2. The refs seeing it, calling the play. We have 4 points on the board for Jacksonville on that one as the team coach comes in to check.
So that gets us to 155, 148. Jacksonville narrowing us down to a 7-point Rose City lead. 6 minutes, 2 seconds to go in our game. Now, this is a nail biter. Winner of this moves on to the 5th place game where they will face off with Foco. And the loser will take on Gotham for 7th place. Gotham will play that 7th place game at 12 o'clock tomorrow. That's Eastern time if you're watching from Portland, and Portland ends up in that game. It'll be 9 o'clock in the morning. The 5th place game takes place 2 p.m. Eastern, or let's see, do the math there. That's 11 a.m. on the West Coast. And I don't believe Foco did not play either of these teams earlier in this tournament, so it's nice everybody's not having to play the same team more than once.
Absolutely. And we've been saying a lot here at JRDA Championships here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But we want to hear what you have to say with hashtag #TalkToJRDA. That's hashtag the number 2 JRDA. Let us know what you think. Show some support for the athletes that are out here. Show some support for the refs out here because we know they've been having a difficult weekend so far. A lot of game changes, and the closer these games are getting, the more closely, or if that's even a word, I'll have to check with standby.
It's a word now.
Oh, it's totally a word now.
I'm calling it a word.
Their actions and calls are being monitored very closely, especially with the last few games where it's come down from 5 to 10 points in some cases. So definitely show Team Zebra some love.
Yes, these ref crews working hard. They're doing back-to-back games and then taking a break and then working a couple of games as well. And we do love their support. We also
we'll especially love it for World Cup.
Yes, we do love the World Cup as well. That's going to be even more. I'm not sure how many of these refs are sticking around. JRDA World Cup coming up Monday and Tuesday. Teams from Australia, Europe, Canada, Great Britain, and both sides of the United States of America, Team USA West, Team USA East. We'll be playing a 6-team round robin on Monday. I should actually pay attention to where I'm doing. Monday, the 23rd, 6-team round robin. Those results of that round robin will feed a seeded tournament on Tuesday, all leading up to our World Cup champion. And I am promised there will be no penalty kicks, unlike that other World Cup that happened earlier. You can watch this live for free on Twitch TV. Twitch.tv/WFTDA is where all this will be going down. All right, Noel has been brought to her feet and is being rolled off of or is rolling under her own power with a little escort from a medic to the medic area where she'll be checked out. Noel will have to sit for 3 jams because the injury or the jam was called for the injury. So that will pull another jammer out of the Jacksonville Duval roster for the next couple of jams. And with that break, we will get set. A 3.5-minute rest for the skaters, many of whom just continued standing up.
And that looks like Olivia Glisson taking the line for Jacksonville. Going to enjoy a power start with Rose City in the penalty box.
Yes, Trickster with that forearm late in the last jam. Sitting in the penalty box right now. So Glisson with a full pack in front, 4 blockers from each side. Official timeout still continuing, however. They're not quite ready to go. I think we're waiting for the medics to be freed up so that one of them is ready to watch the game. Speaking of watching games, let's talk about the International WFTDA playoffs, shall we?
Yes, let's.
WFTDA playoffs for the 2018 international version begin August 31st through September 2nd. That will be in beautiful A Coruña, Spain, hosted by Asbrigantes Roller Derby. Then we head over to Atlanta, Georgia, which is from where we are, just straight south, right? You just get on 95 and go. Doesn't that get you to Atlanta?
And Jacksonville.
All right. That will be hosted, of course, by the Atlanta Roller Girls September 21st through 23rd. And finally, 2018 International WFTDA Championships hosted by Big Easy Roller Girls. That's November 9th through the 11th in New Orleans, Louisiana. Tickets on sale for all these playoff tournaments right now at WFTDA.com/tournaments. I'm assuming the watch passes will be available soon as well.
Absolutely.
And
be sure to check out WFTDA to get that information. I believe Al B will be joining them in Atlanta for that one.
He will. If you're in the Atlanta area and you want to listen to our own Al B Dam, head down to those playoffs. He'll be on the house mic.
Absolutely. And as far as championships here, we're just about to get ready. But let's take a moment to use the hashtag #TalkToJRDA to let them know how grateful they are that they put the safety of the athletes out here over gameplay and everything else. It's great to win, but making sure that everyone's safe and healthy at the end of the day is important. And what do we got going on now, Scott?
What we got now is the 5-second call, and now the jam beginning, and Jacksonville starting an offensive sweep, and Glisson running up the middle. Lead jammer Jacksonville right out of the gate. A textbook opening for a power start. Rose City now regrouping at the front, holding tight with their 4-wall defense. Now breaking up into a 2 as Jacksonville again on the offense trying the sweep, and they bust them up. Glisson is through with 5 points. That takes us to 140 153-155, back to a 2-point game as Trickster has been released from the penalty box. Still on an initial pass now. Glisson approaching the pack at the back.
An excellent work by Glisson, but another Jacksonville player who's going to have to be careful because if I remember right, she started off this period with 4 penalties, and as did Ariana Cantrell, if I remember right, and now she's out. So Olivia Glisson, one of the strongest jammers Jacksonville has and a member of Team USA East, definitely in the danger zone, as it were, as she puts another 5 points on the board and giving Jacksonville the lead again.
That is true. Glisson hopping over this time. Did she land the foot inbounds? Apparently so. That is 5 on a power jam, by the way, as we had a star pass off from Trickster to number 8, LCU later, who then ended up in the penalty box. I did not catch what the signal was, but 15 total on the jam for Glisson. Now 163-155 as the clock ticks down to 4.5 minutes to go in the game.
Trickster coming back in, making contact.
That's LCU later. We had the star pass earlier. They
yes,
just haven't updated
you.
the scoreboard. That's all right.
That's why I'm glad to have you here, Scott.
You can tell Trickster has the braids and LC has the shorter hair.
That's true. I don't know. This game is getting kind of intense. We could have lost a braid.
Fortunately, no one has taken a braid whip of late, so that did not happen. 20 points for Glisson. And let's throw one more in for
21
good measure.
Points, yes.
That is a blackjack kind of jam. 169 now, 155. Jacksonville Duval back in the lead. 3:48 to go in our game, and both jammers starting on the line. In fact, only one skater in the penalty box.
For Jacksonville in the penalty box. And I can't quite tell who's taking the line.
I do know that's Tyranny rushing through the middle for Rose City and taking lead jammer.
Buckeye Brawler for Jacksonville swept to the outside of turn 2. Excellent work by number 26 for Rose City, Mace of Spades, bringing her back just to the end of turn 1 while Rose City puts 5 on the board.
Yeah, it's a beautiful challenge by Tyranny, going right at the joint in the tripod and forcing it to break free. Does it again with equally effect as the 2 blockers on the outside weren't completely close enough together to be able to get through and knock that out. So that's 10 points total right now for Rose City, and a 4-point game is a star pass off to number 719, Mad Dog Maddie for Jacksonville as the pack's starting to speed up. Tyranny on the ground calls off the jam before Mad Dog Maddie can get back.
That's 2 points for Rose City.
And that's a 2-point game, 167 to 169. An official timeout, now an official review called by Rose City. As they have, they got one to use. They got all 3 timeouts. We got a 2-point game, 2 minutes, 33 seconds to go.
I believe they're turning it into a timeout now.
Yes, maybe. Are they using their official? You got 3 timeouts. I'm not sure why you would use an official review as a timeout at this period, but I am not a coach.
Exactly. We have opinions, but we are not the ones in charge. We are just the chorus to the glory that is roller derby.
Wow, that's excellent. Excellent phrasing.
I'm intelligent, too.
The Greek chorus, I'm assuming. We just sort of pop in off the side and say something that's supposedly meaningful
that's
and
relevant
just confuses
to
everyone.
The story. We help move the story along. And what a story it has been. Multiple lead changes. I can only imagine you and Gretchen Little going over the point differences with your score sheets here, but a number of score changes, a number of foul outs on Jacksonville, and that's starting to hurt them, but Glisson keeping them in. Jacksonville now taking a timeout with 2 minutes 33 seconds left in the game.
Jacksonville choosing to ice the kicker, I think is what they're doing here. Oh, wait, there's no kicker in roller derby.
Well, there is, but there shouldn't be.
Must just be giving them a break.
Absolutely.
We're running low on people. Just take another pause. Glisson with that 21-point jam. I believe that is the largest jam of the game for Jacksonville. They had a number of 3-point, like 15s and 12s and so forth, but nothing huge, whereas Rose City has had a couple of pushing up to the 20-point run jams. So Rose feeling like they're taking more large jams to get in, whereas Jacksonville was good with the little 2-3
They
pass
keep
runs.
whittling at the point spread, whereas Rose City, especially once they get some momentum and get fired up and with their crowd going crazy, it's not difficult to see why. They've definitely been putting the big point spreads on the board. And with the signature Duval being called by Jacksonville, we are ready to get started.
And that is Demon Speed number 138 jamming for Rose City. And I believe you said you thought that was Olivia Glisson, and indeed it is, and Glisson is the lead jammer.
And she's going to slow the game down, an excellent strategy to keep Rose City from putting any more points on the board, especially with only 2 points separating them.
And it also keeps her out of foul trouble if you can just sort of hang out and let the time go, let your defense do the work. Now that things are speeding up, going to go grab a point or two, call off the jam.
Absolutely. I think we could expect to see that from Jacksonville. At the start, we saw a lot of hitting the pack and then calling it off, getting a little point leads, and then calling it. And we have an official timeout being called by Rose City.
Yep. Rose City using their first of their, or second of their 3 timeouts. I guess they didn't use the official review. I think they had official review up earlier, and then they went, no, wait, we have timeouts. We'll just use those.
Well, as you said, with cooling the kicker?
Icing the kicker,
Icing the kicker. This is a strategy that we've been seeing a lot of this weekend, especially when it's super close games, but also super intense games. As coaches, you want to keep your players as relaxed as possible and as focused as possible. And when you have the issues that these teams have been coming up with, penalties, major hits, and just the sheer intensity of it, you want to give them a minute to calm them down and cool the kicker. Ice the kicker.
Just chill them out.
Chill out. Do they want to chill them out? I'm going to stop using your phrases because I just can't pull it off.
That's quite all right. It's also stopping the clock, which is important. Clock management.
Absolutely.
Sometimes underused in the world of roller derby, but this is a good stop. You got a minute 51, so they can get at least 2 jams in if they play it right, and that stopped it from running down 30 seconds. They've got one more timeout and a official review on both sides, so both teams, depending on the outcome of jams, can do it. 44 Tyranny, your lead jammer, Rose City. So now Rose City in the control of the clock.
And we have a cover pass by Noel out there. No, that's Glisson out there for Jacksonville through the initial pass with Rose City's Tyranny already making contact.
Yep, Glisson jamming for the second straight jam, and now coming around, Tyranny calls off the jam. Was it in time to stop it? Did keep any points away
from a multiplayer block called on Sperling for Jacksonville, and I see 3 points on the board for Rose City.
So that takes us to a 1-point game, 170 to 171. Nobody stopping the clock yet. Both teams have a timeout and an official review. We've down to 1 minute of game time left. And interestingly, Rose City willing to let it tick. They got another couple of seconds before the jam kicks off.
What an amazing day in the female division as See You Later takes the line for Rose City.
And guess what? Glisson still with the star, 3rd straight jam. As Jacksonville, as we've mentioned, had a couple of key jammers foul out of the game. So Glisson held up at the front. See You Later on the scoring pass, 30 seconds on the game clock. See You Later pushing through as Glisson forced out of bounds and backed up.
Rose City sending a blocker to the penalty box. Jacksonville sending one right behind her, and that is a pass for I'll See You Later.
5 points up, 14 seconds of game clock now. We will see what does See You Later do as she has the official lead by now. Glisson still on the initial pass. Now Glisson getting out of the pack and starting on a scoring pass of her own. See You Later has 5 in the pocket on the clock, calls off the jam, and the game clock has expired. And there is another 5 points. Rose City, last jam turnaround, 180-171. Of course, we got to wait for the official score.
Absolutely, but still an impressive display by Rose City, no matter what the score is. A lot of lead changes and a lot of big jams from Rose City.
A lot of big jams from both teams, and both teams just playing their hearts out. There was no quit on either side. When one team got up by a chunk, the other team's like, all right, I'm just going to come back and fight it out. When Rose came back and got the lead late in the second half, Jacksonville's like, okay, we're just going to go and we'll do our thing. We're going to stop it down. We're going to pick up our points. That was a fun game.
That was an excellent game, and the final now coming in, 171 to Rose City Rollers 180. Rose City taking their victory lap now to a pretty full crowd.
They are.
Just an amazing Derby day here on Female Division. I think everyone that we've had over here today has been a nail biter, and we still have tomorrow to go
And we
through.
still have one more game today. So with this win, Rose City moves on to the 2 o'clock game tomorrow against FOCO, playing for 5th place. Jacksonville will play Gotham at noon Eastern tomorrow for 7th. And coming up next on this track, our final semifinal of the day, Angel City versus Seattle Derby Brats. Do not go anywhere, because that should be another good game.
Absolutely.
Tool Time, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure,
We'll shake
Scott.
hands on that. You have been watching, and hopefully will continue to watch, the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships right here on WFTDA.tv.